Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. The ants in France stay mainly in your ponds. Forex traders, today we'll do euro pairs, yen pairs, dollar pairs, pound pairs, gold, oil, and answer any questions that you have technically and fundamentally. If you want, if you ask for it, we'll also go through this week's calendar looking for risk events. So without further ado, let's go. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator, soul in a rope, and you treat it like soap in a rope, cause my beats and my lines are so dope. Hey, good morning. It's Monday. I'm exhausted. I went to bed super late. I haven't slept much, but whatever. Wah, right? Wah. So we'll try to get through this morning. This is one of those days where I would love to just sleep in, but I can't, man. Can't. Got to keep you happy. So you're my sweet baby. I work for you. You're my boss. By the way, my name is Wayne McDonald. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. You ask questions, I am here to answer, with the overriding goal of helping you become successful as a currency trader. Because successful, profitable, fantastically wealthy, and fantastically successful Forex traders are fantastic Forex clients for a Forex trading firm like Traders Way. So, not bad, huh? Symbiotic relationship. So if you work with me and are still, and you have half a brain, a ridiculous, sickening work ethic, and are willing to put in blood, sweat, and tears for years, you're in, man. You got it. You got what it takes. That's all. So anything else going on? I got a whole bunch of emails from people. I won't say who, from people saying that the end of the world is near. Oh, look at this. I forgot to switch it. Hang on. How do I do this? Oh, by the way, this lake, I've actually canoed across by myself. All right, how do I... Because it's a whole screen, I think, is what's being shown. Hang on. No, I think I go to this. Yeah, let's do it that way. Hang on. Having some fun. So I got to put this back over there. And then if I move this over, oh, but then I'm blocked over there. So then I gotta move this over there. Hello, everybody. And then I gotta move chat over there. Hello, everybody. And then put this back over here. Maybe that'll work. What do you think? Will that do? Yeah. I had to do that on the fly. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Where's that place? It's in Alberta, Canada. It's in Banff, yes. It's Lake Moraine, I think. Moraine Lake. When I was there, and here's the interesting story, I guess. Now I'll show the other part of the lake. Oh, that's not going to work if I do that. What did I just do? I'll put that back. The other part of the lake, hang on, homework. Moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. That's the other part of the lake. There's a hotel in there, the only hotel on the entire lake. Pretty cool, right? The interesting thing is when I was on it, the lake was as white as milk. You could just reach down over the canoe and it'll look like you're picking up milk with your bare hand. It's because of all the mountains. The lime from the mountains would run off, turn the water's white. It's really cool. On a warm summer morning, taking a canoe out on top of a lake of milk. Done it. So anyways. Yeah. All right. Don't get me sidetracked. I'm tired. My brain does that. All right. So let us be going now. Let us be seen. I gotta change things. Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's go and actually this isn't what I wanted either. Yeah, I was saying I got a bunch of emails from somebody saying the end of the world is coming, the end of the world is coming, and it never arrived, I guess. But anyways, let us, okay, what do I have here? Pivots dollar. Okay. Guess we should start euro dollar. I guess that makes sense. Chuck Duck, come on now, Bubba. Come on. Yes, Tova, there is a lot of fear. Typically, that doesn't work for making money. Okay. Okay, so there's some sort of resistance using price action. There's some sort of support using price action. And then go in on smaller time frames. If you were a bear, there was an easy front run. Oh, gotta get my drawing tool going. Where'd that go? By the way, I ordered a new camera and I ordered a new microphone. Or instead of the microphone built into my laptop, I got a $200 microphone. So, anyways, I hope the sound improves after spending the money. Doing it for you, man. All right. So what I'm talking about in here is a simple weekly trade plan. Bill says, I think everyone's short of the euro. The question is, that just messes up my beautiful hair. Oh, Bill, that's always the easy one. In this case, it'd be here or here. That's very easy. The way to answer that is, if you're short, look at the next two levels of resistance above you. Also, Bill, if you're swing trading, you know that it's impossible to be up here. If you're also a swing trader, not just bearish, but also a bearish swing trader. So this one here, I'll label A, the pink line, above this high in here, is super easy. And in fact, it's more than enough. Because this trade plan, the swing, is based off of this and this, right? So anyone that's gone through the swing trading course knows the stop is right here, and which encompasses this anyways. Plus you get the central, right? So like it's not a complicated question at all. So again, if you're doing a weekly swing trade, so you're doing a weekly CPP, your stop is, and I'll put it up here, your stop, so let's put enter, is just above the R1. Easy. And then you look and justify it other ways. So you're above the R1, you're above the central pivot, you're Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Easy question. Super easy. Super easy. Okay. The other easier answer to that, Bill, is you do a business plan and you decide what type of trading you like to do. Is it intraday? Is it day? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? That kind of stuff. But let's say it's day or intraday. And you start to measure, are you in trades for less than 4 hours or more than 4 hours kind of thing. And you start to answer basic questions mathematically as well. For example, try trades that with a 33 pip stop and a 99 pip profit. Okay? Or if you don't like that, do 50, 150. And just try to get yourself into a 3-to-1. You could do a 60, 180. Don't do anything less than 33.99. If you can't make 100 pips on your trade sucks. Okay? What I think you'll find is that 33, because your entries are not precise, you're probably going to want to do a 51.50. Okay? And then over time, move to a 33.99, and then over time, do a 33.150. Okay? Everybody on board with that idea? Now I want to remind you, if you can't make 99 pips on a trade, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have a trade plan, you don't have fundamentals or technicals behind you, and you will not succeed as a currency trader. Okay? Siegfried was a bull and lost money. Great. Okay? Your entry's here. Your stop is here. You got tagged out just recently. Yeah, too bad, so sad. So I guess you were playing this. The difference between the two is that bears sold out off a high resistance. And this support is inside. The low resistance is down here. So you got caught with your pants down, basically. You're trading inside the range, and that's always mediocre. Okay, Siegfried, but sometimes you got to take the shot if you have conviction for it. But I don't really see an uptrend going on here, right? You see this? If you bought down here, you're buying a lower low. Let me kill this, and let's take a closer look. Let's get off the 4 hour. Let's get off the 1 hour. Okay. So here's what Siegfried bought, but you notice that it's no matter how you measure it, okay, it's not a higher low. Okay. You see that? And what you're supposed to be buying is higher lows and higher highs. And it's to create higher highs. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, Munchkin? So you paid the penalty. You took a very aggressive trade in piss poor conditions, and guess what? It didn't make money. Not a shocker, right? Now to the bear, though, a bear had something here, and then a lower high, right? Bears had more. A bear sold off the 21, basically a CPP, lower high. Yeah, that would be better every day of the week. Okay. Now, I would probably ask you, like, give me your written trade plan in advance that explained why buying a lower low below a 21 was a good idea. And most likely, Munchkin, you don't have a trade plan. And I'll say, well, there you go, right there. Just solved your problem. Okay. And another thing that you might come back and say is, well, I took your swing trading course and you told me to buy this. I said you need to have a bias based on technical and fundamental analysis, and your fundamental bias still might be up, but you still need to do technical analysis, right? Know that that's a downtrend, and that before you become aggressively bullish, you should be kind of doing uptrends. Okay. Sharp sell-off early due to the weak Euro PMI. Well, the emails I got, several of them over the weekend from one person known in the business, and it was that on Friday China pulled their agriculture. Vice Minister of Agriculture was supposed to do a tour of the United States, and he canceled on Friday, and it was supposed to be like, oh, the world's going to fall apart because this has something to do with the trade war. And so I got 2 or 3 of these emails like, the market's going to drop when it opens, it's going to go ape crazy, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. So maybe that was the end of the world, I don't know. But it only took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is more of a London open trade, not a market open trade. So it just seems to me someone shorted a roll reversal off of the 21. Hi, Wayne. Is it possible for you to share some of your work you did at Harvard? Well, I'm still at Harvard now, Limbo. Or not, Lim. I had Jimbo above you, and then you. But Lim, actually, what I was thinking of doing, and of course I don't have time to do it, but you'd be surprised. Maybe I'll do it. I was thinking of doing a tour of Harvard. Like I'll hire a camera crew and stuff, and I'll go to Harvard on a weekend because my student ID gets me into all the buildings. I'll do it like a tour of Harvard, and I'll go by classroom to classroom and classroom, describe the the international political economy class, the philosophy of capitalism class, the macroeconomics class. Like go to every classroom and explain the part of my macroeconomics degree that I did there. Oh, sure, Joe. As you guys probably know, I did a case study on GoPro, so I could do that. But anyways. So anyways, I could do that. I think that would be fun. All right. So let's get off this. Let's move on.com. Okay. Need to note something of technical value. Up, 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 down, down, buy. 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 Up, 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 up. And then what's the last part? Lower low? What the WTF? Okay. So now you need to make your decisions. Okay. You might not like the story it's telling you. Delete, close. But you still need to be aware of what's going on. Okay. Maybe? How would you set that up if you were you? He's just like that. Oh, good. Another thing to look for is the lower low. Okay. So you could set it up, and here's how funny all these gurus that teach you how to trade, just right. They'll say, oh well, this is like a head and shoulders pattern. Of course, it's not actually the way this is set up, but they would tell you this. Or this is like a crown pattern. You know what I would say? It's the same damn thing. It's the same thing. I don't care. You call it what you want. Just short it. Okay. Notice the idea though is you need it to go up before you can sell it. Chuck Duck says, look to last October. Okay, let's talk about that, Chuck. Chuck brings up a quite valid point. Last year, okay? Last year, the market dropped early, okay? And it dropped at the end of October, I think. I think it was close to the end of October, right? And I said it would drop the third week of November. It dropped in October, like not even close. It dropped about 5, maybe even 6 weeks early, okay? Last year. The year before it didn't, 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 and the year before it didn't. But last year is relevant because it's recent. But I still have to exercise caution based on everything I learned from all the other years. Well, FX Mad, if the Japanese are worried about a strong yen, then they're going to weaken the yen. Okay. Baby G says, is that seasonality? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So last year there was a flood, or last year there was a drought. Does that mean this year we're going to have a flood or a drought too? Yeah, maybe. Whatever conditions were out there might happen again, right? Maybe global warming is going to ruin our crop. Yeah, maybe. But the other 1,000 years, it wasn't a problem. So we don't know. I don't know if one data point a trend makes. Or to say differently, one data point a trend does not make. Or to say it differently, one data point doesn't make a trend. But we should be open, okay? We should be informed. So you can say, well, I'm cautious this year because last year we had a big move down. Cool. But I wouldn't bet the farm on it either. Okay, Chuck Duck? So it's a very good point, but we need to make sure we don't give it too much weight, but you should give it weight. We can't go into this blind, okay? That's faux show. Okay? So, yep, so this pound dollar, another easy trade. That's fine. But thank you for bringing that up, Chuck. So two of the two European currencies are weak versus the US dollar. Let's do another one. USD Swiss franc neutral, and I'd say even Swissy is just slightly stronger. So what do you think pound Swissy is like? Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Yeah, same trade, yo. What's pound got to do with it? Yeah. Same trade, huh? Someone's even thrown down yet another one. You could do... This one always scares me. Just gone, not even an entry. So this is actually an OOP. You down with OOP? Yeah, you know me. Out of position is what a swing trader calls this. And they know that this sets up a counter trend. Cool. Good luck, ya. What does a counter trend mean? This is going up from there. Yeah, you knew that 4 hours ago, though. Already know that. Now, if you're going to try to follow on and trade it back down, so you're scalping up is plausible. Okay, you can start looking at that as a down. But often when this happens, it comes up to here. Okay, so again, if you are on the swing trading team, you know all this. This is already sort of 4 hours ago. So I don't want to labor the issue. Easy. Easy. Easy if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, not easy. Yet. Raza just considered an ebb of flow of money. Another way of describing it is that money moves this way. Okay? Why does money move this way? Well, people are moving money around the world and they're trying to get the best deal they can. So bears know to sell high. And bulls know to buy low. And everyone's waiting to do it. Okay? So when you're Toyota and you're moving money from Toyota USA back to Toyota Japan, your chief financial officer with a finance degree from a huge university and a second finance degree from a huge university and probably a third finance degree from a huge university knows these things, or their bankers know these things. Okay. And so it's just money moving. It's not a video game. It's just money moving. Okay. By the way, look at this. Pachow. I don't want to do. Looks like we got a bearish market here, huh? Very interesting. Okay, recovered nicely from an exogenous supply shock. Oh, baby, I am not a bull on Aussie dollar. I've never said I was bullish on Aussie dollar. Now I'm buying it, but I don't give a damn about the Aussie dollar. I shorted the Japanese yen, yeah, and I'm collecting yield on Aussie. Oh yeah. But there's no reason to buy the Aussie dollar. That's for sure. Okay, so you got to be careful. I am not a bull on Aussie. Okay, New Zealand as well. They're still talking about cutting below 1%. Okay. No, it's a long-term trade, baby. I'm just doing it because I got a trade set up the way I was looking for a trade to be set up. So I took the trade and I moved my stop. I don't care about it. I don't love it. I get paid a couple of pips a day in interest payments. So I've held it for 20 days. So I've made, if I get knocked out at break even, I've made 40 pips. Cool. Plus, right, and that's just on interest payments, right? So I don't know. I was up 300 pips. Now I'm up 200 pips, whatever. Okay. So it's one of these things where we're at this point. This happens, pretty much every year. One of two things happen, because I'm long. So scenario one is it comes all the way back down. I get knocked out and I make 40 pips in interest. I don't want that. It happens. And then other years it does this. So I either break even or I make 1,000 pips. That was my trade plan. So no, it's a long-term trade. And I said I want to stay long, a minimum till the third week of November, but ideally the third week of December. So my exit is based on a calendar, not a price. That's what makes it seasonality based. Okay. How many people remember I explained that I typically, in my trading account, not my coaching account, but I tend to lean on taking profit at 333. And I don't know why. And it's some weird, silly number in my trading habits. But I think Aussie yen was up 333, and now I'm up like 183 or something. So it was up and it's come back down. So we're at this point where I'm either going to lose it all or it's going to go back up. But it's one of these things where I don't know if you caught that lesson or not, but it's just there to remind me, boom, boom, ba-doom, that there's something in the magic, there's something in the numbers. At least my mind catches it. It's confirmation bias. But I tend to get out and get back in. Did anyone catch that? I don't remember if it was during non-farm payrolls or something. You know, those are 3-hour webinars, so often I get sidetracked, right? Some kind of Gann thing. Yeah, if anything, I think it's more of an Elliott wave thing. Yeah, Paul got that one. Yeah. Yeah, Jesus says 33. Yeah, and often I'll do stuff like that. 33, 33. Yeah. No. Yeah, Paul's like, yeah, I might have brought this up 6 years ago. Yeah, or 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, I haven't changed, right? Yeah, Ronnie's caught it over the years too. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's weird. It's just one of those things. Consistency, I guess, right? So, an interesting thing's happened. A new family of hawks have moved on my property. And at the same time, a squirrel has found his way into my attic. So, I am going to control nature a little bit. Bought a nice little trap for my squirrel problem. And I was watching on YouTube, some guy was doing a review on it, and he set up an animal camera that activates when you break a laser, so it only turns on when an animal's nearby. And the squirrel's like, hey man, hey, what's this thing? Oh, there's nuts inside. So the squirrel goes in and he's like, hey. And then he's like, and he reaches a little farther. And then he goes, tail goes, I'm like, oh, snap, it works. And then he's like, check this out. And he goes out, and he's got property too, and he goes out on his property. And he takes the dead squirrel, he empties the trap on the ground, sets up a camera. And sure enough, like half an hour goes by, and a big vulture comes down and sees the dead squirrel and goes, wow, with these big wings, right? And he starts to eat. And I'm like, that's awesome, because now, so I want to feed my hawks. Yeah, like we have a lot of animals. You know, I let the dog out last night because I was up in the middle of the night. There were deer in the front yard. The night before, there was an armadillo, and he came right up to the stoop in the front of my house. And I got my dog, and I'm like, whoa. So I throw the dog inside, and he didn't even blink. He's just like, you know, and so we have a lot of snowy egrets, blue heron. We have owls at night, and frogs everywhere, man. All different types, really cool, very neat. So there's animals, raccoons, possum, tons of things. So anyways, oh, you've seen that one? Yeah, that's right on. So anyways, so I'm like, I love my hawks. Right? So anyways, so I'm going to take this problem and give that solution. Well, that's what, you know, yeah, so anyways. Maybe sure. So anyways, so I say that because the hawk just flew by just now, and I'm like, oh man, they're big, right? So I've even seen, I think once a year we see a bald eagle. And one time this bald eagle was flying, and I'm watching. I'm like, look at this bald eagle. It's huge. It's a giant bird with this huge beak designed for tearing meat apart and huge talons designed for holding things down. Like, it's a big animal. This animal could take a small dog. That's how big this bird is, right? And I'm watching him, and I got binoculars and stuff. And he's flying over the lake, and a bird comes and he goes, "Wah!" Right? And he comes down and makes this massive turn. And you got to remember, this bird is like 30 times, 3,000% bigger than the other bird, right? Wow! And he turns, and the other bird it gets out of the way. But in the hawk, while he's turning to get the bird, sees a fish in the lake and goes, wow! Right down in the water and grabs a fish and flies away with his fish. I'm like, oh my God. So anyways. Yeah, how do you get it? So I have gutter covers that go down to a drain that get connected to a pipe that has underground plumbing to remove the drain water away from my foundation. And they've chewed in through the ground somehow, or someone did, and then they came along and they got into the irrigation pipe, which then goes underground, goes up, goes into the drain spout. He climbs up. It's from the ground. It's 4 stories to my attic. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he gets in and then chewed his way through somehow through the eaves inside the covered. So it's like paradise for this guy. So I'm going to, permanent solution is to end his life. So anyways, he has nature. He doesn't need my attic. So anyways, there's nothing really much, I can't really do it. Okay. Hey, Nguyen, stay here. Sorry, you guys get me off track, or I got off track. Sorry, I have not slept much. I am very tired. So if I get off track, I apologize. Okay. Let's talk about Aussie yen. Oh, look, somebody went long on Aussie yen. This person was profitable for 8 hours, broke even for after that, and now is back long. Can we figure out what this anonymous person's trade plan was? Why did they buy 72.73? 72.72. Why did they buy 72.72? Huh. Because they could. Anyways. Can you see the pivot? So that's what's going on. I'll adjust this. Yeah, weekly M2, faux show. Okay. So it's just been farting around. There was a trailing stop on it, but when I move this, it kills that. CAD yen is similar. Yeah. It's not as good though, Sav. It was less bullish, or well, I should say, it was more bearish than this. This is a lot like I forgot who took the Euro trade. This is a lot like the Euro trade. Okay. Okay, this is a terrible thing to buy. I understand that. Okay, it's a terrible, terrible trade right? A terrible market conditions to buy, but I bought it at exactly the right price. Okay. I was up 25 pips profit or something. Okay. I think I bought it at 6 o'clock in the evening. By midnight, I was up 25 pips profit. At 3 o'clock in the morning, it gave it all back, which is London Open. Yeah. Are you listening to me? I bought it at 5. I was watching it at midnight, and I was watching it at 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember, at the very minimum, you should think of me as your competition. I know I'm your mentor and stuff, so you have to take this in stride and listen to me. But every time you trade, someone else is on the other side. You need to be working harder than me. You need to be hustling more than me. I hustled for almost 20 years, okay? So you're just learning this. You need to be hustling more, right? So if I'm saying like, yeah, I took it here at 5 in the afternoon, and then started cooking dinner for my family, and then here I was tucking my children in bed, and here at midnight, I was finishing my case study analysis for Harvard. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was watching the pullback and adjusting my stops. You're like, well, dude, when was this guy sleeping? Where's the get rich quick message, guys? Shouldn't I be telling you that I just trade, I go boop, I got my yellow Lamborghini, it was super easy. I turned a $1,000 account into $30,000 in just 5 minutes using my trading platform on my phone with no real charts. I just went boom and oh, I'm so rich now. But instead I'm telling you that I'm working. Yeah, Jimbo, it could be. I just have it at 33. Okay, I just moved it to 33, but I can do it more. Okay, but really, Jimbo, it's one of these things like my experience may be different from the lesson, right? And my experience tells me my trade plan is this. If this doesn't work, I'll get out. That's all. But you're right. If you were learning, you'd probably have it down here. Okay. Okay. But right now I'm comfortable. If this doesn't work, I mean, really, I'm comfortable with this. Instead of 33, I was just trying to be funny. So I'll make it 22 pips. Okay. So now I'm in like, you could do 22 to 22, right? So watch this, guys. I don't know if you manage your trades this way, but I'm looking left, by the way. See, we're 2,000 something pips. It's not actually 2,000 pips. That's the funny thing too. There you go. There you go. 222 pips, 22 pips stop loss. Here's a comment though. You see how when I move this, it tells you it's 2,000 pips? Okay, you see that on the left-hand side there? It says 2233. That's not 2,233 pips. That's 223.3. That's fractional pricing. So when I say there are times in the year when you should be trying to make 10,000 pips in a month, I don't mean 10,000 like that. I mean 100,000 like that. Okay? You know what I mean? I mean big money, not little money. So fractional, when I started trading, we didn't have this little fraction. You see this 72, 75, 3? We didn't have that 3. Okay, we didn't have 0.3 of a pip. So yeah, so often I get this emails like, "Hey, I got my first 1,000 pip trade." I just usually say congratulations. Hey, that's really awesome. But 99 times out of 100, they only made 100 pips. If it went from 72 to 73, that's 100 pips, not 1,000. Just heads up on that. So when I say I'm going for 1,000, if you're doing fractional pip, I'm going for 10,000. And if I say 10,000 for the month, meaning I want to have 30 trades, make 300 pips each, in that case, it's not, I mean 10,000 full pips, but using this fractional, I mean 100,000 pips. Yeah. Okay. And when you grow in your career, you'll always remember your first 1,000 pip trade. I mean, one trade moving from 72 to 82. Like if I was in this Aussie yen, I bought it at 70. That means it would go all the way to 80. That's 1,000 pips. And you go, man, I was in that for 3 months. That was fantastic. Now, lots of things have to go your way. So that's a big trade to go from 70 to 80 or 80 to 90. Right? Okay. That's how I look at that. So now imagine you're stacking your trades like I taught you. When did I teach you that? Friday? When you stack your trades, that's what I'm going for. I want 20 or 30 trades, let's say on various yen pairs all along. The problem is we're not really in consistent market conditions. And that's the sad thing. Like, if anything, it's going to get consistently risk off. And we're not quite ready for that. But I wish it would turn consistently better. But, you know, I think the European problem is self-inflicted. I think the British problem is self-inflicted. Right? So, for example, European problem. The Eurozone is flawed in their design of the political system. It just is. Have they fixed it? It's been 25 years. Have they fixed it? No. Are they going to fix it in the next 25 years? I don't know. I don't hear them even talking about it. Okay. How about the European banking problem? Remember in 2007 the banks in Europe blew up? Do you remember that? Have the Europeans fixed the banks in Europe? Do the European banks have strong balance sheets? No. No, they do not. No, they do not. You see my issue then? So the ECB has had more than 10 years to get European banks to fix and improve their balance sheet so that they're not exposed to exogenous shocks in a catastrophic way, right? Have they fixed that? No. Is that a prime job of the ECB? Yes. How about Brexit? Did China do Brexit to the UK? No. Did the Europeans? Well, the British might argue that. Okay. Did the Canadians make it happen? No. Did the Americans make it happen? No. Was it the Russians? Did the Russians force Brexit on the good people of the United Kingdom? Nope. That was self-inflicted. Yeah. So, like, what if we lived in a world, guys? What if we lived in a world where Europe, instead of going socialist, populist, instead decided to, see, I don't want to sound negative, okay? I've studied economics, okay? I understand that there are different forms of capitalism, and that you need to choose what's best for your society. Stable unemployment, right? Stable unemployment, or wealth generation. So Europe is more like stable unemployment. But what does that mean? Well, it's stable at minus 10%. Huh. Also, one of the problems in Europe, because they want to keep the employment stable, even if it's at negative 10%, which is terrible, right? 10% unemployment, that ain't good, but it's stable. Okay? Because they want that, it's almost impossible, if not completely impossible, to go bankrupt in Europe. So there are companies and banks in Europe that should just, they're broke, man. They're insolvent. They've been insolvent for 10 years. ECB should just kill them all. Oh, but people will lose their jobs and people will do all this and all hell will break loose, so the government's going to save them. A capitalist would say, screw the bank, let it go out of business, lay everyone off. They're the problem. They created the stupid bank from the first place. So the bank should fail because it's a bad bank, run by bad bankers. Get rid of them all. They should all be unemployed anyways. But of course, the United States can't even do that. So is France going to do that? You kidding me? But that's the economic choice they make. So now Europe is full of bad businesses and bad banks and all that kind of stuff with stable unemployment, but with negative, with 10% unemployment. And you get this, and then therefore to pay for the 10% of the population with no job, you're going to have to tax everyone a lot and say, we're sorry you don't have a job at our cushy little bank that can't make money, but we'll give you free this and free that. And you don't have anything to do all day, you don't have a job, why don't you go to university for free? Go get a PhD in nothing. Okay. That's a social choice. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's the social choice. The choice of the social economic system, because that's all capitalism does, is it offers products and services that benefit people. Okay? And then we need to run society on top of that. So anyway, so Europe has made the choice that they want persistently high unemployment and stifling business conditions. But it provides stability. Do you understand that? It's very difficult to start a business, and it's impossible for the business to go broke. You won't... No, you can go broke, but you just won't go out of business as long as you're hiring people, right? So anyways, whatever. There's these zombie companies and stuff like that. Entrepreneurialism in Europe is a lot different than it is, let's say, in the Silicon Valley, right? So anyways, that's just the economic system. So a lot of these complexities are simply the form of capitalism that Europe has chosen, which is a lot more leaning toward socialist capitalism. And that gets mixed up. A lot of people misinterpret that. But it's just a form of capitalism, which is fine. I don't care about democracy, by the way. But I do care about capitalism. So that creates a certain economic system. So the ECB won't fix the banks in Europe that need fixing because a lot of them can't be fixed. They would have to go out of business. And then France would cry like, why did half of our banks go out of business? And Italy, why did 75% of our banks go out of business, right? And the Dutch are like, but we don't want to bail these guys out. And the Germans are like, but we don't want to bail these guys out. And so Draghi just says, you know what? We'll do nothing. 10, 12 years go by. Still nothing's been fixed. It's amazing, actually, right? Self-inflicted wound, but by design of the economic system they have chosen. Now, America is flawed up the yin-yang too. I'm Canadian, so I can talk about America's problems all day long. Okay? Okay, cool. One of the best things America has always done is they're not okay, how do I say this? When there is a problem, and usually it leads up to a big problem, okay? That's a normal part of capitalism, boom and bust. When the government gets involved to prevent the boom and bust, like Europe, then what that does is you will have persistently high unemployment, but that's because of the stability. And to pay for the unemployment, which is a form of paying for the stability, you have to tax people up the yin-yang, or businesses up the yin-yang, to pay for all the unemployment, but then you have everything stable. Nobody makes any money. No, everyone with a job keeps the job, no matter how much they suck. And everyone else, I guess, goes to university and smokes cigarettes or something all day, whatever Europeans do, right? Now in America, they are less social. There's less social welfare. I might argue there's still too much here, but that's a different argument down the road, right? But one thing that America does, because there's a little less stability here and a little more capitalism, it's just the pendulum is slightly more toward pure capitalism. It's not even close, but more. Europe is closer to socialism than it is capitalism, and America has got a lot of socialist welfare in it, but it's closer to capitalism. All right, great. So when a bust hits, and it always hits, that's part of capitalism. Why? When times are good, dumb money goes after dumb ideas. Do you understand that? Everyone is so rich because of the overall economy is going so well, they think they're geniuses. But 95% of people on earth are morons. So everyone here believes they're above average, right? Right? Everyone's above average. Okay. So what happens is dumb money goes after dumb ideas and stupid businesses get set up, and the only customers they get are stupid customers from stupid businesses that have stupid money from stupid investors, and dumb money feeds dumb money feeds dumb money for a while. They IPO and more dumb investors pour more money in. They're like, we're a $7 billion company. And you're like, dude, you don't do anything. How could you be worth $7 billion, right? So anyways, all this happens, right? Then what? Boom, the economy comes down because all that's stupid. That's a stupid use of capital and labor, and it needs to be punished. The equity side sucks. The capital part sucks. The labor part sucks. It all sucks. So we got to rip that garbage down and get rid of it. That's what capitalism does. So there's booms and busts. But you know what? The smart businesses always survive, right? So the last major financial crisis of 2007, 2008, I sat down and talked with my wife. Do you think Starbucks is going to go out of business? The stock is down 70%. Do you think Starbucks is going to go out of business in the next 25 years? No. Do you think Delta Airlines, the largest airline in the United States or / the world, will it go out of business, or should we buy it at $5 a share? Hey, Bank of America, the largest bank in the United States, maybe the world, and it's not the world, but the largest bank in the United States with America in its name, is trading at 90% discount from its previous high. Will the Fed bail it out if it gets in trouble? Yeah, probably. Maybe we should buy it. It'll probably be around in 25 years. Buy it. We just went through all these companies. Amazon.com down 50%. Are people not going to buy stuff online anymore? No. Do you think Amazon.com is going to be around for 25 years? Yes. Should we buy it? Sure. Boom. Hey, Ford Motor Company, one of the original three, the ones that actually make kind of okay, kind of nice cars. Well, they don't make cars now, but truck or whatever, should we lend them money at 10%? I told you this, guys. They were offering 10% on a bond. Sure, let's lend Ford 10% because we know the government's going to bail them out if they lose all their money. So I'll get paid and whatever, right? So all this stuff happened, right? There are winners and there are losers. You got to cull the herd. This is what Europe doesn't do. the weak and the sick and the old live forever in Europe. And America does this too, especially with banks, and it's not a good thing. But pure capitalism is the sick, the weak, and the old must die. They must die for the herd to strengthen, right? So these problems are self-inflicted. Imagine a world where no, European banks go out of business. Imagine literally 75% of the banks in Italy probably need to go out of business. Gone. It's going to suck for a while, but then Italy will be left with nothing but awesome banks with solid balance sheets. Okay? Okay? You understand? And the UK, I don't know, Brexit, I still don't get it. Okay, great. The United States also has its problems. But the major difference, and maybe why it's a reserve currency or the reserve currency, is that when Americans figure out that the bust has occurred, okay, they take the bitter medicine. It's going to be terrible. You got to plug your nose, and you got to take the spoon, and you got to get it down your throat. Don't throw up. Oh, it's terrible. This is terrible. And you take the bitter medicine. You fix the problem hard. Like there, it says, I'm supposed to take 2 teaspoons. Drink the bottle. Right? That's how America typically handles it. Now, the last financial crisis, the government screwed everything up. And probably every other financial crisis, the government screwed everything up. It always comes back to the Fed. Okay? American Republicans still worship Reagan, Ronald Reagan, is the best president to ever live. It was Paul Volcker that made America great, not Reagan. Yeah, Reagan, he built up the arms race. Reagan did bankrupt the Soviet Union. That I give Reagan credit for that. But it didn't make America great. That made the Soviet Union poor. Okay? What made America great was Paul Volcker created a recession, killed off all the bad, and then only the strong survived, and we had like a 30 or 40-year rally. Okay? So maybe Europe needs a 30 or 40-year rally. Imagine, okay? Imagine that. Or imagine, right, Trump gets a lot of heat for the trade war. So hear me out on this. I used to have this speech where I say that World War I happened, World War II happened. We were worried about World War III, right? About a nuclear holocaust against the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union was defeated. We used money, not bombs. Reagan used money to win World War III. So World War III is over. Then the greatest threat to democracy and capitalism was China. It was communist and it was socialist. The worst combination of everything you could possibly have. Okay? And so that was the greatest threat. Especially when they got a nuclear bomb. Now we're like, okay, this is going to be a problem. So World War IV was America versus China. And that was won as well through money and through trade. Okay? World War IV didn't have any bullets or bombs, but suddenly Chairman Mao said capitalism is horrible. And then after Chairman Mao had passed on, new leadership came in, and all of a sudden to be rich was to be grand. To be rich was good for China and for the Chinese. You should get rich. But the message before that was if you got rich, they would cut your head off and give your money to everybody else, and everyone should be equally poor. Okay? That's what pure socialism, especially when you throw in communism on top of it, that's what you're going to get. So anyway, suddenly to be rich is to be grand. thumbs up, now you can get rich. And so we gave these unbelievable terms of trade to China to bring China from peasants, 1,000 years behind the rest of the world, into the new world, the new century. So anyways, that was a straight up war used with money. Once again, see, capitalism has its wars, but capitalism prevents things like wars with guns and bombs. If you and I work together and we make money because of each other, we have a symbiotic relationship. I live a good life, you live a good life. We live a good life because of each other. There's no way I'm going to kill you and rob you. You understand? Capitalism is freedom. So instead of bombs, and instead of guns and bullets, we used money. And we said, hey, look, hey, check it out. Here's what some money can do. You're like, oh, I can buy food, but the food here isn't very good. Well, guess what? If you have more money, someone will get better food for you. And then suddenly they're making money giving you good food. So they want good food. But then there's going to be excess. So other people have more food because more food gets produced, and you're going to have to specialize. Farmers are going to be farmers, restaurant people will be restaurant people, all this kind of stuff. They'll have excess and they will need to share because they'll always produce a little bit more because they're hoping someone will buy it and they too will have extra money put in their pockets. But then once you have money in your pocket, you can buy a nicer house from someone, give them your money. Or you can buy nicer clothes, give them money, you have nicer clothes, which incentivizes people to make more clothes because they want to sell more. And then they find out the more they sell, the cheaper per unit it costs. So now they keep more of the money if they can only sell more, which means they want to make excess. And then to attract, now there's competition. So to attract, they either give you better quality or they give you cheaper prices. And then, oh my God, this is so awesome. Capitalism's awesome. And that war was ended. World War IV now is over. Soviet Union collapsed. Communist Soviet Union collapsed. We outspent them with money. We built, okay? And then, right? But the problem is we didn't make the Russians rich. All we did was outspend them, so we made them poor. They were already poor, but we made them more poor, okay? China, instead, we took a poor country and we made them rich. Great, now we're allies and stuff. So some time has gone by since the 1970s, right? When Nixon visited, was it the 60s or early 70s? I think it was 1970, wasn't it? So anyways, some time has passed. China is not socialist anymore. It's communist capitalist. That's why I said I don't know if I'm a democracy fan, right? Because most people don't know what they're talking about, so why would I care about their opinion? So democracy is all about everyone has an opinion, they all get to talk. I don't like most people, so why would I want to hear their opinion? And most of the time they're wrong. So I certainly don't care about their opinion, right? So I don't know. But what I do care about is capitalism. Okay? And so the nice thing about this is America says things were bad. Glop, 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 glop. Take the medicine. It's going to be terrible and nasty tasting for a while. But we need to fix this now and move on. So are things in America completely fixed? No, but our banks are healthier, way healthier than before. We got some repo problems and stuff, but you know what that repo problem came from? The government. Okay? So when you add more government, it screws up. I don't know why the UK keeps doing referendums. Why do you have ministers of parliament? Why do you have MPs in a government that then ask the people to make the decision? Then, why do you even have MPs if the MPs can't make the decision? Even that I don't understand. Oh, we're going to have another referendum, and we're going to have another election. Dude, seriously? But anyways, so I think the government there is the problem. And in Europe, the government's the problem. Right? Now, you have to have some government, but I think the more government you have, the more likely it's going to cause undue consequences. And like, why do governments want to stop the boom and bust? This is the one question. Why does the government want to stop the boom and bust of capitalism? That's the number one problem. Before World War I in the United States, the government didn't track unemployment. You didn't have a job? What the hell does that have to do with the government? You get sick or old? There was no welfare or retirement account. What the hell does that have to do with the government? You gave the government a little bit of money. It had an army in case we got attacked to protect your private property. It had police to protect your private property. That's cool. They built roads and bridges because that's sort of like eminent domain kind of stuff. Like, this is the good of the people. Like, we need a bridge. Are you going to build a bridge? No, I don't want to build a bridge. Do you want to build a bridge? No. Right? So anyway, so somebody built the roads and built the bridges because that's good for commerce. And some taxes were needed for that. And then jails needed to be built. And then postal service was needed. And these were things that got added on, right? But then above that, like, what's the economy like? Who cares? Okay? So anyways, the one problem is the government say we want to prevent the boom and bust cycle of capitalism. But I'm saying the boom and bust process of capitalism is what makes capitalism work. Because smart money with smart ideas, smart management goes out, they produce something that the market wants and needs, and they do it in such a way that the value is either high or the price is low, and it serves the people well. The value is received, and people are like, I love this, I needed this, this makes my life better, this makes my business better. And then competition comes in and more things come in, and pretty soon at some point, it's just dumb money following dumb ideas, doing dumb things. So this will all grow. The rising tide will raise all the ships, good and bad. And every once in a while, you need to let the tide out. What's wrong with that? Oh, but we'll have 12% unemployment for 3 years. Yeah, but then you'll have 2%, you'll have 3% unemployment for 12 years. So anyways, self-inflicted wounds. Imagine we lived in a world where this just worked. Okay? So one of the things that we can fix is the trade war with China is not a trade war. It is a negotiation. It needs to happen. It's required to happen. No one likes to go through it. I know people that make lots of money importing and exporting. Multi-billion-dollar businesses, and it's hurting them right now. Okay? Once the trade war is over, okay, we just go, oh, okay, that's good, and Australia's back online, New Zealand's back online. Done. You see what I mean? It's just so short term to think about it in the course of a couple of years, right? Imagine every day you woke up and read the newspaper and turned on the radio and listened about how President Nixon's visiting with China. And you're like, this is such big news. This is crazy. And the markets were going crazy. And the bond market was on fire. And the stock market, what's going on? And the armies should get on high alert. And what's going on? And, this is Nixon a bajillion years ago. A bajillion years from now, people are going to say, like, yeah, Trump negotiated a new trade deal with China. Cool. And that'll be it. The footnote won't even mention it. Oh, yeah, it took a couple of years. Well, so what? Who cares about a couple of years? Okay? You're a currency trader. What you do is valuable regardless of the market going up or regardless of the market going down. It's called an absolute return fund. Okay? The benefit, if we can fix some of these bigger macro ideas is that we will have normal business flows. Seasonality is things like Christmas. I don't know if you're Christian or not, doesn't matter to me. Christians have this holiday called Christmas. And for some reason they put up a tree, which is not Christian at all, totally pagan. And they put gifts under it. And Santa Claus comes down out of a chimney, which again is not Christian at all, totally pagan. Or not, I guess no, he's he's Dutch or something? I don't know, whatever, but not Christ. He's not Jesus coming down through your chimney and like, hello, I got stuff for you. So I don't know how this all fits into Christmas, but these are the problems I go through every year. So Santa Claus, not Jesus, comes to your house and he breaks into your house in the middle of the night, leaves gifts for you under a pagan tree, and then in the morning you open it up. Somehow there's Jesus involved somewhere. I'm not really sure. What does this matter? Christmas happens on the same day every year. Okay? And apparently, if you don't spend $10,000 on your kids, you're a scumbag parent. I don't know why. They already got everything. I can't even think of something my children need. Actually, I do, but I have to like really search now. They have everything. And you're like, oh, we only have 45 gifts per kid this year. It's terrible. Go out and buy something. Oh my God. So people are forced. If you're a grandma, you have to spend $20. And if you're an uncle, you have to spend $20. Like people go shopping like, I have to get 9 gifts. I'm going to spend $20 per gift. Like they're just spending the money just to have the gift. It's so funny. They're not even gifts. They're just like, what can I get for $20 that a kid will like? I don't care about it. I just need a gift. All right? So good. The money gets spent. Do you understand that? The money gets spent. The money will be spent. There'll still be some Christians in America and the rest of the world this year. Okay? Money will be spent by every grandma, by every uncle and aunt, by every mom and dad, by mysterious Santa Clauses. And then every office party has to have a Christmas party. This sucks. And so now you have to give crappy gifts to each other and you do like a fun game around it. Like, what a giant waste of time. I don't like all the people I work with. So like, why would I want to go to an office party? I hate my people in the office. Don't you remember working at an office? Like Johnny and that guy, like, these are idiots. I have to work with them every day. I certainly don't want to go to a party with them, right? So anyways, you're forced to go. Now you got to buy everyone in the office some gifts. And it's all this. The money will get spent, and you know when. Okay? This all goes down in the middle to the end of December. When do the gifts get made? Who makes them? Where do they come from? That's seasonality. So that means they're making this crap now somewhere in the world, and it will be shipped to the stores, wherever the stores may be. Imagine one factory in China. They got to send stuff all over China. Then they got to send stuff to Australia, and Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, right? And then they got to send things to Canada, the United States, the East Coast and West Coast of both of those. And then they got to and then get it to Europe, and these ships have to go this way, and these ships have to go that way, like a massive undertaking, right? Like all this is economics. It's really fantastic. But they're making this garbage now, right? And then they'll get put into boxes. And then they'll get put into trucks. Then they'll get put into trains. And then they'll get put back into trucks. And then and then they'll get put onto ships. And then the ships will travel, and they'll go through ports, and they'll go through customs, and then they'll get docked, and they'll go from a ship to a truck, from a truck to a train, from a train to a truck, from a truck to a distribution center, from a distribution center, right, to a store. And you'll drive in your luxury SUV, and you'll go there, and you'll buy this crap for 400% more than it was made for, and you'll buy that home, but then you got to wrap it up. So you got to buy this, you got to buy that, and you go, oh, don't forget the batteries, you got to go that. And then you drive back home to your house that's too big. You got to wrap it all up. Then you got to get a tree. Like, oh my God, right? Johnny's tree was 12 feet this year, so I got to get a 14-footer to go in my house, right? And now you got to buy these trees, and you got to decorate them, and it's crazy. Then you're like, when are we having a Christmas party? When are we having oh my God. It's so much money. It's crazy. It's crazy how much money this is. But we know when and all this stuff happens. This is the ebb and flow of money. Ebb and flow of money. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. From an economist point of view, who's making it, who's shipping it, who's receiving it, right? Imagine all the commerce that's going on in between all of this, whether it's FedEx or UPS, right? Whether it's the ports, whether it's the energy required, everything in between, just, right? It's amazing. Okay? It's amazing. And the seasonality comes from all this, right? All of this. So when I say seasonality, and I said the real estate market, when's the worst time to sell a house? December. When's the best time to sell a house? April. Why? Humans, for some reason, don't want to buy a house in the dead of winter, in the middle of the school season, in the middle of holidays. They're like, I'd have to take my kids out of school and move them to a new school. That ain't going to happen. Right? And I got my mother-in-law coming for Christmas and stuff. I can't move in the middle of December. That ain't going to happen. Right? Just think of it. It's humans. Nature is what all of this is about. Don't look at Forex as a video game. It's just humans. It's truly the Matrix here, right? Better time to sell a house in April because it gives you time to sell or to buy a house is April because it gives you time to sell your house. Takes 6 weeks maybe to go through the process to get your house. Then school ends, and then you want to move in after school. So school ends for your kids. Now you can move in June. You buy it in April. You move in June after several weeks of closing and all that kind of stuff. Move in June. School ended in May. Cool. So now you get in your new house in your new neighborhood, and you jump in the swimming pool, and you're kind of like Beverly Hills Cop 1. You're just kind of laying in there, and of course now it needs to be updated. So there's scaffolding everywhere, and their new painters are up there painting it just your favorite color. And you're sitting in your pool, drinking your drink, Beverly Hills Cop 1. Boom. That's how life works. If you can simplify things to human nature, I think you will do fine. As an economist can analyze and make decisions, and then from the decisions you can make trades. Yeah, and Dr. Age, and then you die, and you're like, what do we do with all the pool toys? Right? I know I went far on that, but I'm trying to get you to think about reality and get outside of the video game mentality that so many people are taught. Okay? Okay? So when are they going to start shipping these products to the stores? Well, right now, right? Right? Who's making them? And then, is factory capacity and utilization low in Europe? Well, that means they're not making toys for Christmas. Well, someone's got to make them. And in January, and February, and March, they're going to need to retool their factories. And anything that's depreciated off, they're going to have to reinvest capital. Okay? So they're going to have money go there. Okay. So if we'll take like Japan, for example. Japan's a massive manufacturing center. Cool. So in January, February, March, the Japanese yen is going to get strong. Why? We depreciated all their assets because they've been utilized. Capacity utilization was probably high in the third and fourth quarters for Japan. I don't know, because that's now. So why don't you get the capacity utilization and industrial production figures for Japan and take a look at it, and are they strong, and are they getting stronger over the next few months? And if so, we're depreciating that capital, which means you're actually putting wear and tear on a machine. At some point, the machine breaks. You understand? At some point, the machine breaks. So if it's if it's Toyota, they have to buy a new machine. So they're just gonna run these machines hard until January, because let's say it's a toy company now, they got to run the machines hard. They're gonna work day and night, 24 hours a day. They're gonna have multiple shifts, right? 3-4 shifts a day of people coming in. Machines are running 24 hours a day. They are getting hot and they're worn out and everything, putting miles on the machines because they know this is prime time production, right? And they have to ship now. They got to ship it out. Christmas is coming. Ship it. Make it, ship it. Make it, ship it. Make it, ship it. Make more. Make more. Because the more you make, per unit cost fall down and your profit margin increases, right? So you just make as much as you can, and then finally Christmas happens, and then what? You shut down all the machines. And they're smoking and they're red hot, and some of them are just fried. Need some capital, man. Need some capital. What happens? Japanese yen gets strong. Why? That's what capital is. Money going to Japan. President Jimmy Carter from Plains, Georgia, he hired a non-economist to run his Fed. The guy sucked. He was horrible, and he was fired. And he failed miserably, and inflation in the United States went to a point where people were getting 18% mortgages. Paul Volcker stepped in. This guy's a monster, by the way. He's like 6'7". He's a big dude. And he comes in, he's like, Mr. President, I can fix this. I'm not even going to tell you how. You just have to let me do it. Do you want inflation to come down? Yes, Mr. Volcker, I do think inflation should come down some. Well, Mr. President, it will happen. And he brought the whole thing down. Okay? Yep. Anyways. Cool. So, of course, I went long because I'm so tired. I don't know what's going on. So anyways, if you're a bear, pretty obvious trading. If you're a bull, you got to set it up. Okay? But look at that. If you're a bear, like, it's pretty simple. Okay? You know price action. You took a price action course? Okay. It's easy, right? If you don't know how to do this, go to fxbootcamp.com and sign up for training. This is right out of price action. This is very, 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 very basic trading skill. Okay. Okay. Very, 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 very basic. Okay. So you got to be trained. So fxbootcamp.com for that. And I will leave it here. I am going to try to get some sleep, but not today. I have meetings all day. And then tomorrow I have meetings all day and homework. And then Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday I'll get some sleep. So I apologize. I did a big ramble. Like I said, I was trading at 5. I was trading at 10. I was trading at 12. I was trading at 3. And here I am, at my desk, 7 o'clock in the morning. If you got more than 3 or 4 hours sleep, I'm hustling harder than you. And I have 20 years of experience. I'm probably older than you. So you're getting whooped. Okay? I don't use 4-hour charts. That'd be swing trades, so weekly pivots. Okay, Abu. You should probably join the swing trading course, swing.fxbootcamp.com, or go to fxbootcamp.com and take it there. Okay. Well, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Be part of the community. Okay. And thank you for being a positive part of the community. Yeah, I'm sitting on this little thing here, so we'll see we'll see what happens. I'm still at the break-even point, but like this isn't terrible, is it? Right? That's when the market opened, so I don't know. So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Make sure you go to tradersway.com, open an account, and down in the chart description below, you can download my charts. Okay. Sitting on 110 pips, a euro czar because of your teaching. Right on, Paulie. Yeah, it took off real fast, right at 3 a.m. Yeah. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being on my team and being a positive part of the community. I love you, babe. This